This is me, Max Erenberg, 29 years old, just a regular Jewish dude from Winnipeg, Manitoba. I'm a very passionate sports fan and usually a pretty solid athlete. My favorite sport to play is golf. My least favorite sport to play is golf. Well, tough crowd. I graduated from the Asper School of Business in 2016, and I was fortunate enough to have done a semester abroad in Rotterdam with my good friend Josh. We made sure to take advantage of our time in Europe by traveling around the continent as much as possible. And of course, we made sure to maintain a healthy diet by keeping our refrigerator fully stocked at all times. Upon graduating from university, I got my first full time position in the fall of 2016 as a data intern in hockey operations with the Winnipeg Jets. At the time, I had no idea that I would spend 6 amazing years here. As an avid sports fan and Winnipegger, there was nothing cooler than working for the Winnipeg Jets. I was hired right when the analytics movement in hockey was starting to gain traction. And together with Jordy, Adam, and James, we helped to develop and run the Winnipeg Jets analytics department. We became affectionately known around the company as the Nerd Herd, and these guys are still very close friends of mine today. Now, this is where my story starts to take a bit of a turn. One of the most hectic parts of an NHL season is the trade deadline, which in 2021 was on the Monday after the Masters. We can say that I definitely watched a lot of golf this weekend, while still, of course, getting all my work done, just for the record, in case anyone from the Jets is watching. I woke up this Monday morning after the Masters with a headache. But this wasn't just any headache. This was the worst headache that you could ever imagine. I wanted to chalk this headache up to stress or maybe lack of sleep, but there was just no way. It felt as though my skull was suffocating my brain, and this lasted consistently for well over a week. After 1 week of suffering and being unable to get any relief from the pain, my doctor sent me to the hospital to get a CT scan. I got a call within an hour of getting home, and I got some news that, quite honestly, I had expected at this point. The news was, we're not quite sure what it is yet, but there is an abnormality on your scan. Yikes. I got this call while I was sitting on the floor in my bathroom at home in between bouts of vomiting. I remember my immediate reaction being something along the lines of, okay, yeah, that makes sense. I'll probably just die now. Thankfully, this turned out to be just a little bit of an overreaction. I was admitted to the hospital where I spent about 5 days on the neurosurgery ward at the Health Sciences Center in Winnipeg. This was during the height of the pandemic, and at this point, visitors were not allowed in hospitals. As the doctors tried to diagnose what was wrong with me, I was alone and terrified. No one seemed to have any definitive answers, but my condition did stabilize. I truly believe the one thing that helped the most was the presence of my roommate, Diane. Diane was one of the most friendly, optimistic, and caring people I've ever met. As she fought her own battle, she provided me with absolutely everything I needed to fight mine. As much as we could, given the circumstances, we had a great time together. I even crowned her in cribbage, although knowing Diane, she probably sensed I needed a win and let me win. I was discharged from the hospital and continued my recovery at home. It took about a month before my life started to normalize and I was able to make it back to work. It seemed as though I was inching my way towards making a full recovery. Thankfully, I was back up in the press box with the boys like usual as the Jets swept the Oilers 4-0 in the first round of the 2021 NHL playoffs. On June 2nd, the morning of game one of the second round of the playoffs against the Habs, I woke up with some vertigo. The vertigo passed and I felt fine otherwise, but I called my doctor and I was sent to the hospital for another CT scan. I was given more shocking news. The growth in my head had more than doubled in size and needed to be removed immediately. Back to the hospital I went, this time for urgent brain surgery. I let the people at work know that I was once again going on the IR, and I wished them good luck in the second round of the playoffs. Unfortunately, the Jets got swept 4-0 by the Habs. So, for those of you keeping score at home, the team had won 4 games in the playoffs with me and lost the 4 games in the playoffs without me. The Nerd Herd made sure to keep reminding me of this while I was recovering at home. The care I received in the hospital from start to finish was unbelievable. The surgery was successful. They weren't exactly sure what it was yet, but the doctors told me they cut out a mysterious growth from the back of my head and that I should make a full recovery. Here I am today, having made a full recovery. The growth that was removed from my head was a pilocytic astrocytoma, a grade 1 non-malignant tumor. I'm grateful that the growth I had was in fact a tumor because it led me to find the amazing organization that has us gathered here today, the Brain Tumor Foundation of Canada. The Brain Tumor Foundation does an unbelievable job to raise money and awareness for such an important cause. With encouragement from my friend Josh Lieberman, who we will have the pleasure of hearing from later today, I shared my story and I started fundraising for the 2022 Brain Tumor Walk. This year, the foundation raised over $1.3 million. Two of the most important people I've connected with throughout this process are Diane, who we've already chatted about, and Maddie, who I met last summer through the walk. Unfortunately, Diane lost her battle last spring. Maddie's battle is ongoing and trending in the right direction. It's for Diane, Maddie, and all the others that will battle that I continue to raise money and awareness for such an important cause. This chapter in my life was an absolute grind. I couldn't have gotten through it without the support I received from Michaela and my family and friends. Thank you to everyone that donated and to those that showed up for the walk in June. This is a fundraiser that I'm excited about taking part in every summer. I can't speak fondly enough about the Winnipeg Jets organization. They were by my side when I needed them most, and for this I will always be grateful. I'm now an insurance advisor at my family's brokerage, R&D Insurance. When I tell people this, the first thing they say is, "Oh, okay, so you mean you don't work for the Jets anymore?" Fueled by my past experiences, I've started a new chapter in my life, and I couldn't be happier. I'm honored to have been the recipient of the 2022 Cup of Hope, the trophy given to the top fundraiser in Canada at the Brain Tumor Walk each summer. Now, even though I have won so many trophies in my day, too many to count, this trophy stands out as the greatest accomplishment of them all. It's proudly displayed on our mantle, where I've made sure to leave just enough space for the 2023 Cup of Hope when it comes in next summer.